Aside from playing long phrases on the saxophone, expressing your jazz vocabularies, are you able to play in a setting where the audience doesn't really care about your expressive vocabularies? Can you play to entertain an audience that is just concerned about good music? That is where the idea of warm tone comes in. As a saxophonist, you should be able, expressing your jazz vocabularies isn't bad at all, but you should be able to know your settings, know the kind of audience wherever your setting is, and be able to give them the type of music they need. So the idea of warm tone comes into play. Your ability to play warmly and softly to the saxophone is a very important tool, because many players tend to bite too hard on the saxophone, bite too hard to the saxophone mouthpiece or the saxophone reed. Many players also tend to put in many or much amount of air to the saxophone, which is very wrong. Also, many players tend to keep a very tight, a squeezed throat. They don't always open up their throat. So all of these small mistakes can contribute to your tone not being very full and very rich. But today I'll be sharing with you a simple technique you can apply, you can use, and also practice with, and it's going to help you very much in expressing the quality of your tone and giving you that quality you've always wished for. I use this a lot of times when I'm using a softer reed. My saxophone setup doesn't allow me, but I'm using a softer reed. It makes my sound naturally, it makes my sound thin and very light and very bright. But I use this cheat a lot when I'm using a softer reed. I make sure I widen up my throat while blowing air. And if you do this, you notice your sound becomes fuller. So it's almost as if you're playing a harder sized reed, but in real sense, you're playing a lower sized reed. So practice expanding your throat while blowing in air to the saxophone. So the first one, the R syllable instead of the A syllable. This helps you widen the throat. Then while you're doing this, you push in a little amount of air. That is a subtone practice. I have mentioned this in my previous videos.